Have you ever wondered if that simple afternoon nap might be doing more harm than good? For many of us, especially as we get older, napping becomes a familiar comfort, a gentle escape after a hearty lunch, a way to reclaim a little energy before the evening sets in. But what if I told you that the way you nap could be quietly shaping your health, day after day, in ways you might not even notice until much later? Recent research is shedding light on the hidden risks tied to common nap habits, especially for those of us past 65. Sometimes, what feels soothing can chip away at our vitality. From heartburn that lingers all afternoon, to restless nights that leave us groggy the next day, it turns out that small mistakes in how and when we nap can ripple through every part of our well-being. Yet, with just a few simple changes, naps can once again become a true source of renewal and clarity. Today, I invite you to discover the 5 most common nap mistakes older Americans make, and how a few thoughtful tweaks could help protect your health, your memory, and your independence for years to come. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. Common nap mistake number 1. Napping right after meals. For so many of us, there's something irresistible about a nap after lunch. Maybe it's the comfort of a familiar meal, the warmth of a sunny spot in the living room, or the gentle hush that settles over the house in the early afternoon. In homes across America, millions of older adults finish their soup or sandwich, feel their eyelids grow heavy, and think, what harm could a little nap do? It's a tradition that feels as old as time, a simple pleasure, an act of self-care, a way to recharge and find peace in the middle of a long day. But what most of us don't realize is that this innocent post-meal nap can quietly cause harm if we're not mindful of how and when we rest. Over the years, these small daily habits have a way of shaping our health in ways that are easy to miss until the problems start adding up. I've known countless seniors who, like clockwork, stretched out on the couch right after lunch, only to find themselves dealing with a stubborn sore throat, nagging heartburn, or that groggy, heavy feeling that never quite lifts, no matter how much sleep they get. The science behind this is surprisingly simple, yet not something we're often taught. After we eat, especially a meal rich in carbs, proteins, or fats, our digestive system jumps into high gear. The stomach releases acids and enzymes to break down food, the pancreas gets busy with its own set of digestive juices, and the liver and intestines absorb and process nutrients. This whole system runs smoothly when we're sitting or standing upright, because gravity helps keep the food and stomach acids where they belong, down in the stomach, not creeping up into the throat. But when we lie down immediately after a meal, especially flat on our back, we disrupt this finely tuned process. The stomach's contents, now full and busy with digestion, are more likely to leak upward into the esophagus. For some, this causes the telltale burn in the chest known as acid reflux or heartburn. For others, the reflux is silent, with only subtle symptoms like a scratchy throat, a cough that won't quit, or even hoarseness that sneaks up as the months roll by. What many seniors don't realize is that, as we age, the muscular ring that separates the stomach from the esophagus, called the lower esophageal sphincter, naturally weakens. That makes reflux all the more likely, and the damage more severe, sometimes leading to chronic inflammation or even precancerous changes in the lining of the esophagus. I remember meeting Robert, a soft-spoken 74-year-old retired school custodian from Missouri, who shared a story that felt so familiar. For years, his daily ritual was the same: lunch at noon, then straight to the sofa for a good long nap. At first, it was nothing, just a little reward after decades of hard work. But as the years passed, Robert noticed his afternoons growing more uncomfortable. He was waking up from his naps with a sore throat and that raw, acidic taste in his mouth. His wife started to worry as she saw him become less and less interested in their old after-lunch walks, and more prone to lying on the couch in a kind of sluggish fog that wouldn't go away. It was only after a frank conversation with his doctor that things started to change. The doctor explained that napping immediately after a meal was making Robert's reflux, and his fatigue, much worse. Give yourself at least 30 to 60 minutes before you lie down, the doctor advised. And when you do rest, try propping yourself up in a recliner or sitting upright for a bit before stretching out. Robert was skeptical, but willing to try. It didn't take long to notice the difference. Within weeks, the afternoon acid and sore throat faded. He started to feel a new clarity and lightness, small but unmistakable improvements that rippled through the rest of his day. Even his mood seemed to lift, and he found himself going for short strolls around the neighborhood after lunch, something he hadn't done in years. Stories like Robert's are more common than you might think. There's a reason so many of us gravitate toward a nap after eating. Digestion itself is a demanding process, pulling blood and energy away from the brain and muscles and into the gut. That's why a big lunch can make us sleepy. It's not just about the food, but about the way our bodies shift their priorities for a while. But while the urge to nap is perfectly natural, the timing and position matter far more than most of us realize. In some cultures, a midday nap is a celebrated tradition. Think of the Spanish siesta, or the gentle pause in many Mediterranean countries. But even there, naps tend to be brief and taken in a semi-upright position, never flat out on a bed right after a heavy meal. And in those traditions, the nap is balanced with light activity, like a gentle walk or some household chores, that helps the body digest and transition smoothly from meal to rest. The psychological side of the story is just as important as the physical. For many older adults, the routine of eating and then immediately lying down becomes a kind of default, something to fill the time, to soothe boredom, or to cope with the quiet that sometimes settles over the afternoon. It's easy, especially for those who live alone or who have lost a partner, for the eat-then-nap cycle to become the main rhythm of the day. But over time, this cycle can sap energy, dampen motivation, and even contribute to a slow decline in mental sharpness and emotional well-being. So what can be done? The good news is that small, intentional changes can make all the difference. Start by building a buffer between lunch and your nap. Let your body work through the first stages of digestion before you settle in for a rest. Ideally, waiting 30 to 60 minutes after eating. If you do feel the need to nap sooner, choose a comfortable chair or recliner, propping yourself up rather than lying flat. Even better, find a simple, light activity to do after lunch. It could be washing the dishes, folding a load of laundry, walking to the mailbox, or even tending a few plants on the porch. These small acts don't just help digestion. They give your body and mind a gentle transition from meal to rest, keeping you more alert and better able to enjoy your afternoon. If heartburn, cough, or throat irritation has already become a problem, talk to your doctor. These symptoms aren't just a nuisance. They can signal changes that need attention. With the right guidance, many seniors find that a few adjustments to their nap habits, along with advice on diet, medications, or other health issues, can dramatically improve their quality of life. And let's not overlook the importance of self-awareness. Next time you feel the urge to nap right after eating, pause and ask yourself, is my body truly tired, or is this just my routine? Sometimes, the body signals are calling for real rest. Other times, they're a whisper to get up, move, and re-engage with the world. Finding the balance between honoring your body's needs and avoiding the pitfalls of habit is a lifelong journey, but one that pays off in energy, clarity, and a richer sense of well-being. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. As we age, listening to our bodies becomes both an art and a science. The afternoon nap, so often taken for granted, can become a cornerstone of self-care, as long as it's approached with mindfulness and a little curiosity about how our habits shape our health. When we give our bodies time to digest, choose supportive positions, and keep our minds engaged, even the simplest nap can become an act of renewal, a gift that keeps us strong, present, and truly alive for all the afternoons still to come. So, the next time the couch calls your name after lunch, remember Robert, and remember yourself. Take a little walk, let the sun warm your face, or simply enjoy the gentle rhythm of daily life before closing your eyes for a well-earned rest. Your heart, your mind, and your body will thank you for it. Not just today, but for years into the future. Common nap mistake number 2. Napping too long. There's a particular comfort in an afternoon nap. After years of rising early for work or tending to family, many older Americans find these midday rests almost sacred. The living room grows quiet, a soft breeze moves the curtains, and a favorite chair or well-loved sofa becomes a refuge from the day's demands. Sometimes, you close your eyes for what feels like just a few minutes, only to awaken and realize an hour or two has slipped by. For many, especially those living alone or with plenty of unstructured time, these long, peaceful naps become a daily habit, a reliable escape from fatigue or boredom. But as time goes by, some begin to notice an unsettling change. Instead of waking from these naps refreshed and full of energy, you might find yourself struggling to shake off a heavy grogginess, a mental fog that lingers for hours. You might lose track of the afternoon, feel less interested in reaching out to friends, or notice a growing distance from your favorite hobbies. Strangest of all, when bedtime comes, sleep feels harder to find. You lie awake in the dark, tossing and turning, watching the hours tick by, or wake frequently through the night, never quite reaching that deep, restoring rest you remember from younger days. Irene, an 81-year-old widow living outside Dayton, Ohio, found herself caught in this very cycle. After her husband passed, her days became quieter, her routines more solitary. To fill the long afternoons, she'd settle into her recliner after lunch, intending to nap for just a half hour. But the comfort of the chair and the hush of her home made it all too easy to drift into a deep sleep. Before she knew it, 2 hours had gone by. She'd wake, disoriented and sluggish, her mind cloudy and her legs stiff. At night, she'd lie awake, staring at the ceiling, feeling both exhausted and oddly restless. It was a puzzle. How could so much sleep still leave her feeling tired? Stories like Irene's are more common than most people realize, and there's a name for what she was experiencing: sleep inertia. This is the period of mental fog and confusion that follows waking from a deep sleep, especially if that sleep happens at an odd time of day. When naps stretch beyond 30 or 40 minutes, the body enters the deeper stages of the sleep cycle, the very stages from which it's hardest to wake up feeling alert and refreshed. Instead of a short, energizing pause, a long nap can pull you into the depths of sleep and leave you feeling as if you never truly woke up at all. Science backs this up. Studies from major journals on aging and neurology have found that excessive daytime napping in older adults, especially naps lasting over an hour, is linked to a higher risk of cognitive decline, memory problems, and even dementia. The reasons are complex, but much of the problem comes from how these long naps disrupt your circadian rhythm, that natural, internal clock that keeps your body in sync with day and night. Long daytime naps can steal some of your sleep pressure, the natural buildup of chemicals like adenosine in your brain that helps you feel sleepy at night. When you nap for too long, you wake feeling groggy, and then find yourself wide awake long after the sun goes down. But there's more. Long naps aren't just a risk for your brain and memory. They can take a toll on your mood and overall health, too. Older adults who regularly nap for over an hour in the afternoon are more likely to report feeling isolated, less engaged, and more likely to skip daily activities or time with friends. It can become a subtle but powerful cycle. The longer you nap, the more disconnected you feel, and the less you do during the day, the more you rely on long naps to fill the time. For Irene, the turning point came when her daughter grew concerned about her mother's memory and low energy. After urging Irene to visit her doctor, she was referred to a sleep specialist. Through some simple at-home tests, they discovered that Irene had moderate sleep apnea and low vitamin D, both conditions that left her tired during the day, leading to long naps and poor nighttime sleep. The specialist suggested a new nap routine, no more than 20 to 30 minutes, and never after 3 p.m. To Irene's surprise, within a few weeks her afternoon naps became truly refreshing. She'd wake feeling alert, her mood brighter, her mind sharper. Her nighttime sleep improved, too. She started sleeping longer stretches and awoke more rested than she had in years. Experts agree. For most seniors, a 20 to 30-minute power nap is the sweet spot. These short rests let your brain cycle through the lighter stages of sleep, leaving you alert and recharged, without falling into the deep, hard-to-wake from stages that cause inertia and confusion. These quick naps lower stress, boost heart health, and can even improve your memory, without disrupting the precious nighttime sleep that keeps you healthy and independent. Yet, for many, the urge to nap for hours each day is a sign of an underlying issue, not just a bad habit. Chronic daytime sleepiness can stem from poor nighttime sleep due to pain, frequent urination, or sleep apnea, certain medications, low mood or depression, or even nutritional deficiencies. If you find yourself craving long naps daily, it's worth talking to your healthcare provider. Sometimes, a blood test or sleep study can reveal hidden health issues that are easily treated. Long naps can have unexpected social costs, too. Every hour spent dozing on the sofa is an hour not spent moving, socializing, or enjoying activities that keep both mind and body strong. Over time, this can lead to a quieter, more isolated life. That's why it's so important to protect your afternoons, to use them for light movement, hobbies, and connection, instead of drifting away in sleep that never truly restores. So, what can you do if you've fallen into the habit of napping too long? Start with intention. Set an alarm or ask a loved one to gently wake you after 20 or 30 minutes. Nap in a quiet, comfortable place, but not so cozy that you slip into a deep, extended sleep. Try to nap earlier in the day, before 3 p.m., so your sleep pressure is preserved for nighttime. And make a point, even on sleepy days, to get a little sunshine, fresh air, or movement in the afternoon. These small choices can help retrain your body's rhythms, leaving you feeling brighter, sharper, and more in control of your days. Of course, everyone has times when they need extra rest, after a poor night's sleep, during illness, or after a busy morning. On those days, don't be too hard on yourself. But if you find that long naps have become your routine, not your exception, it's time to make a change. As for Irene, those short naps became a new kind of ritual. She'd set a kitchen timer, close her eyes for just 20 minutes, and then get up, make a cup of tea, and call a friend or water her garden. Her days grew richer, her mind clearer, her heart lighter. She didn't just regain energy, she reclaimed a sense of purpose and connection that had faded over the years. That's the true gift of a well-timed nap, not just sleep, but the energy and clarity to make the most of every moment we have. So next time you feel the urge to drift off for hours, remember, a little rest goes a long way, and a short nap might be the secret to a longer, happier, and healthier life. Common nap mistake number 3. Napping in a reclined position for hours. If you ask older Americans about their favorite place to rest, chances are many will mention their beloved recliner. There's a special comfort in that overstuffed armchair by the window or a favorite seat in front of the TV. The soft cushions, the familiar creak as you lean back, the gentle hum of afternoon sunlight filtering through the blinds. For some, the recliner becomes almost a companion, a faithful retreat in the rhythms of daily life. After a long morning, especially after lunch, it feels natural to sink into its embrace, feet elevated, and simply let go. But over time, what starts as an innocent way to take a break can quietly become a daily habit, sometimes lasting an hour, sometimes 2, and sometimes even longer. The world slows, the TV drones on in the background, and you drift into a nap, not quite asleep, not quite awake, time slipping past in a soft blur. At first, it may feel harmless, even necessary. After all, haven't we earned the right to rest after a lifetime of hard work? Yet, beneath the surface, this habit can quietly shape our health in ways most people never consider. Let's take Marvin's story as a familiar example. Marvin is 76 and spent his working life in a Michigan auto plant. Retirement brought long afternoons and, with them, the perfect opportunity to indulge in the comfort of his recliner. It started with a short rest after lunch, feet up, remote in hand. But as weeks turned into months, Marvin found himself dozing off for longer and longer. The familiar sounds of the TV, news anchors, sitcom laugh tracks, weather forecasts, became the background music to his daily retreat. But slowly, little changes crept in. Marvin began waking up with a stiff neck and tingling in his fingers. Sometimes his legs would swell, leaving sock marks on his calves that didn't fade for hours. He started feeling more tired after a nap than before, his mind sluggish and heavy. It became harder to muster the energy for an afternoon walk or even a chat on the phone with his daughter. He shrugged it off at first, just getting older, he'd say. But deep down, he wondered if something wasn't right. The science behind Marvin's symptoms is surprisingly clear. When you nap in a recliner for extended periods, your body is never truly at rest. The semi-sitting position, legs elevated, knees bent, back slightly slouched, neck craned forward, puts subtle strain on muscles and joints. The neck in particular, if unsupported, is prone to awkward angles, which can lead to pinched nerves, soreness, and even headaches. Over time, these strains can compound, making it harder to find a comfortable position even when you're not napping. But the bigger risk comes from what's happening inside your body. In a reclined position, your diaphragm, the muscle responsible for deep, efficient breathing, can't move as freely. This leads to shallow breaths, reducing the oxygen available to your heart, brain, and muscles. For older adults, especially those already dealing with reduced lung capacity, heart conditions, or circulatory problems, this means less energy, more fatigue, and a brain that never quite feels as sharp as it should. Even more concerning is what happens to your circulation. Sitting for hours with knees bent and feet up makes it harder for blood to return from the legs to the heart. Blood pools in the lower legs, which is why so many people notice swelling or a heavy feeling after a long nap. In some cases, especially for those with varicose veins, diabetes, or limited mobility, this slow-moving blood can lead to the formation of dangerous clots, a condition known as deep vein thrombosis, or DVT. If a clot travels to the lungs, it can become a life-threatening emergency called a pulmonary embolism. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. For Marvin, these hidden dangers became all too real. At a routine checkup, his doctor noticed the swelling in his legs and the complaints of neck pain. After a few questions about his daily habits, the culprit became clear: hours spent napping in the recliner, day after day, without moving or stretching. The doctor explained the risks and suggested some changes. Marvin was reluctant. After all, the recliner was his favorite spot. But with some gentle encouragement, he agreed to try a new routine. Shorter naps, lying flat in bed with a pillow to support his neck, and a short walk after waking up. The results surprised him. Within weeks, the tingling in his hands faded, the swelling in his legs improved, and he felt more energetic. He even started to enjoy his afternoons again. Gardening, calling friends, or just reading a good book by the window. The recliner was still there, but now it was a place for a quick rest, not a 2-hour escape. Marvin's experience isn't unique. Across the country, countless seniors have fallen into the habit of spending hours in a recliner or armchair, half napping in front of the television. But it's not just physical health that suffers. Psychologically, the line between rest and avoidance can become blurred. Sometimes, dozing off in a chair is less about genuine fatigue and more about filling empty hours, quieting boredom, loneliness, or even a sense of purposelessness that sometimes creeps in after retirement or loss. Long recliner naps can quietly erode the structure of the day, turning afternoons into a blur and making it harder to stay engaged with family, friends, or meaningful activities. Over time, this habit can feed a slow withdrawal from life, a subtle retreat that leaves both body and spirit less resilient. So what can be done? The answer isn't to swear off comfort or naps altogether. Instead, it's about making mindful, small adjustments that honor both your body's need for rest and your long-term well-being. If you love your recliner, Make it a place for short rests, 20 or 30 minutes at most. Support your neck and back with pillows, and avoid awkward positions. If you feel yourself drifting off for longer, set a timer or ask a loved one to check in on you. Better yet, try shifting your main nap to a bed, where your body can fully relax, your breathing is deeper, and your circulation is unimpeded. After waking, stretch your legs, roll your shoulders, and take a few deep breaths. Simple acts that wake up both body and mind. And most importantly, check in with yourself. Are you napping because your body truly needs rest, or is it becoming a way to pass the time, to retreat from loneliness or boredom? If it's the latter, consider adding a new spark to your afternoons. A phone call with a friend, a hobby you once enjoyed, a walk in the fresh air, or even a bit of music or reading. These small acts can restore a sense of vitality and purpose, making each day richer and more rewarding. The comfort of a recliner is one of life's quiet pleasures, but like all good things, it's best enjoyed in moderation. By treating naps as a tool for renewal rather than an escape, you can protect your health, lift your mood, and keep yourself ready for the joys and challenges that every new day brings. For Marvin and so many like him, the journey back from long recliner naps was a journey back to life, a rediscovery of strength, clarity, and the simple pleasure of feeling awake and truly alive. As you settle into your favorite chair this afternoon, pause for a moment. Notice how your body feels, how your mind drifts. With just a few changes, your nap can become what it was always meant to be: a gentle pause, a well-earned rest, and a stepping stone to the richer, healthier life you deserve. Common nap mistake number 4. Napping too close to bedtime. There's a certain magic to the late afternoon. As the sun starts its slow descent, painting the sky in soft golds and pinks, many older Americans find themselves growing drowsy. Maybe you've just finished a good book, watched a favorite show, or wrapped up a few chores. There's a quiet hush that settles over the house, the day's busyness winding down. For some, this is the perfect time to close your eyes for just a bit, a gentle nap before dinner, a moment of peace before the evening arrives. But what often feels like a harmless indulgence can quietly turn into a hidden thief, stealing away the quality sleep you so deeply need at night. Napping too close to bedtime is a mistake that creeps up on so many people, especially as we age and our days become less structured. The consequences, though subtle at first, can accumulate and create a cycle of restless nights, foggy mornings, and mounting fatigue that's hard to shake. Take Dorothy, a 74-year-old grandmother from Indiana. After she retired, Dorothy found herself enjoying quiet evenings at home. She'd make an early dinner, tidy the kitchen, and then settle into her favorite armchair around 6:30 or 7 p.m., just as the sun dipped low. The television would hum in the background, her little dog curled at her feet, and within minutes Dorothy would drift into a light sleep. She didn't think much of it. After all, she'd been waking earlier and earlier in the mornings and figured a nap was just what her body needed. But slowly, Dorothy began to notice a change. When it was finally time for bed, she'd lie awake, tossing and turning, her mind racing with old memories or worries about tomorrow. Even when she did fall asleep, she'd wake every couple of hours, feeling restless and strangely alert. By morning, she was groggy and irritable, her body heavy with exhaustion. The fatigue crept into her days, making her less interested in her usual walks or phone calls with friends. It felt as if her energy was leaking away, drop by drop. Dorothy's story is far from unique. In fact, for many older adults, the temptation to nap in the late afternoon or early evening is strongest exactly when it's most harmful. The science behind this has everything to do with our internal clocks, what doctors call the circadian rhythm. Think of your circadian rhythm as the maestro of your body's daily symphony, orchestrating the ebb and flow of hormones that help you wake up in the morning and wind down at night. One of the key players is melatonin, the hormone that signals to your body it's time to sleep as darkness falls. When you nap late in the day, especially within 3 or 4 hours of your regular bedtime, you disrupt this delicate rhythm. The nap tricks your brain into thinking it's already had part of its night's rest, reducing the buildup of a chemical called adenosine. Adenosine is like nature's sleep pressure, slowly accumulating in your brain all day, making you sleepier as night approaches. A late nap releases the valve a bit too early, lowering your drive to sleep just as you need it most. This means that when you finally go to bed, your body simply isn't ready. You might find yourself lying in the dark for hours, unable to slip into the deep, restorative sleep your body craves. Even if you do manage to doze off, your sleep can be light and fragmented, with frequent awakenings and that frustrating feeling of never quite reaching full rest. Over time, this erodes not just your nighttime sleep, but your entire sense of vitality, leaving you drained, forgetful, or even blue. The consequences are particularly serious for seniors. As we age, our sleep naturally changes. Deep sleep, what scientists call slow-wave sleep, becomes harder to reach, and we're more prone to waking up at night. This makes us especially vulnerable to anything that further fragments sleep, like a nap that's too close to bedtime. The risks are real. Chronic poor sleep is linked to memory loss, higher risk of dementia, increased falls, high blood pressure, even mood disorders like depression and anxiety. Dorothy's doctor explained this to her in simple terms. Think of your sleep drive like the battery in your phone. If you plug it in for a quick charge at 6 or 7 p.m., it won't be ready to fully recharge overnight. You'll wake up feeling only half-rested. With that metaphor in mind, Dorothy decided to make a change. She shifted her daily nap to just after lunch, around 1:30 or 2 p.m., far enough away from bedtime to build up her natural sleep drive again. She set a timer for 20 minutes, just enough to feel refreshed without falling into a deep sleep. The first week was tough. She missed her cozy evening routine. But by the second week, she noticed it was easier to fall asleep at night. She woke up fewer times, and her mornings felt brighter, the fog of fatigue slowly lifting. She even felt motivated to return to her morning walks, the air fresh and cool as the day began. Dorothy's experience is supported by a wealth of research. Sleep experts recommend that seniors keep naps brief, no more than 20 to 30 minutes, and avoid napping after 3 p.m. This allows enough time for adenosine to rebuild and for the circadian rhythm to guide you gently into a restful night's sleep. Short, early naps can boost alertness, improve mood, and sharpen memory, all without stealing from your overnight rest. But change isn't always easy, especially when old habits are comforting. If you've fallen into the pattern of late naps, try these gentle shifts. Set an alarm after lunch for a short rest. Engage in light activity, like a walk or a puzzle, as evening approaches. Dim the lights in your living spaces as bedtime nears, sending a signal to your body that it's time to wind down. And if you find yourself feeling sleepy late in the day, try a cup of herbal tea or a quick chat with a friend. Sometimes, a little company or a change of scenery is enough to refresh your mind until it's truly time for bed. For those living alone, late-day sleepiness can sometimes be a sign of boredom, loneliness, or even subtle depression. Don't hesitate to reach out. Join a senior group, invite a neighbor for coffee, or call family. Staying engaged and active during the afternoon and evening doesn't just help your sleep. It nourishes your mind and spirit, too. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. As the sun sets tonight, take a moment to notice your body's cues. Are you reaching for that familiar nap out of habit or true fatigue? By gently shifting your routine, you can rediscover the deep, healing sleep that supports your memory, your mood, and your independence. Dorothy, now well into her late 70s, still naps, but it's a mindful pause in her day, not a substitute for the restful sleep that carries her through the night. With each sunrise, she's reminded that the smallest changes, a new nap time, a short walk, a call to a friend, can ripple out, restoring not just her energy, but her zest for life. So tonight, as you ready yourself for sleep, know that every good day begins with a good night, and every good night is built on the simple, caring choices you make for yourself. Guard your bedtime, treasure your naps, and trust that your body, when given the chance, knows just how to heal and renew. Common nap mistake number 5. Napping without adjusting the environment. For many older Americans, a nap is more than just a brief rest. It's a vital part of the day, a chance to recharge and find a moment of peace amid life's busyness. But how often do we stop to think about where and how we nap? The environment in which you close your eyes can have a powerful impact on the quality of your rest, yet it's one of the most overlooked aspects of healthy napping. Take George, a 77-year-old retiree living in a bustling suburb of Pennsylvania. Every afternoon, George would settle into his favorite recliner by the living room window. The blinds were often left open, letting in the bright afternoon sun that warmed the room. The television was usually on, broadcasting the day's news or a familiar sitcom rerun. With a neck pillow and a cozy blanket, George would lean back and doze off for what he hoped would be a refreshing nap. Yet, George's experience was far from restful. He often woke up feeling groggy and irritable, his neck stiff and sore for hours afterward. The sunlight streaming in would prick at his eyelids, and the television's chatter never fully faded from his awareness. He found himself reaching for coffee just to shake off the fog, struggling to regain focus and energy for the rest of the day. George's story is a common one, and it highlights the importance of adjusting your nap environment to truly benefit your health. Research shows that factors like light, noise, temperature, and even posture can profoundly influence how restorative your nap is. For seniors, whose sleep patterns are already more vulnerable due to age-related changes, an unsuitable environment can turn what should be healing rest into a shallow pause that leaves you more tired than before. Light is one of the most powerful regulators of our internal clock, the circadian rhythm. Exposure to bright light, especially blue light from screens or sunlight, suppresses melatonin, the hormone that signals to your brain it's time to sleep. If you nap in a brightly lit room or with the television on, that light penetrates your eyelids and sends conflicting messages to your brain, telling it to stay alert. Even if you fall asleep, your brain is less likely to enter the deep, restorative stages of sleep that truly renew your body and mind. Noise is another critical factor. While some background noise may seem comforting or familiar, studies have shown that even subtle sounds, like a TV playing softly, distant traffic, or household chatter, can interrupt sleep architecture. This means your brain stays in lighter sleep stages, preventing important processes like memory consolidation and hormone regulation from happening. For older adults, who may be more sensitive to interruptions, this means naps can feel shallow and leave you feeling unrest. Comfort and posture matter greatly as well. Napping while slouched in an unsupported chair, curled awkwardly on a couch, or sitting upright with poor back support can strain your neck, back, and joints. This can cause pain or stiffness upon waking, and restrict breathing or circulation. For seniors with conditions like arthritis or sleep apnea, poor posture during a nap can exacerbate symptoms and leave you feeling more fatigued afterward. Temperature plays a surprisingly important role in sleep quality. During sleep, your body's core temperature naturally drops slightly, a signal to your brain that it's time to rest. If your nap environment is too warm or too cold, it can interfere with this process, making it harder to fall asleep or stay asleep. The ideal room temperature for restful sleep is typically between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit, about 16 to 19 degrees Celsius. Finding that comfortable middle ground helps your body transition smoothly into sleep. After noticing how poorly he felt after his afternoon naps, George decided to make some changes. He closed the blinds to dim the sunlight, turned off the television, and replaced the noisy fan with soft instrumental music that gently masked background sounds. He swapped his old flat neck pillow for a supportive one shaped to cradle his head and neck. Most importantly, he limited his naps to about 20 to 25 minutes. The transformation was remarkable. George's naps became more refreshing, and his daytime energy improved noticeably. The stiffness in his neck disappeared, and he found it easier to engage in his favorite hobbies, like gardening and reading. No longer needing coffee to pull himself out of a foggy afternoon, he felt more connected and alive throughout the day. Creating an ideal nap environment doesn't require a complete overhaul of your home or expensive gadgets. Simple adjustments can make a profound difference. Dim the lights with blackout curtains, an eye mask, or even a dimmer switch. Turn off televisions, silence phones, or use earplugs to block distracting noises. Use pillows to support your neck and lower back if you nap lying down, or choose a chair with proper lumbar support if sitting is your only option. Control the temperature by adjusting your thermostat or using a light blanket for comfort without overheating. For seniors, especially those with fragile or disrupted sleep, paying attention to the nap environment can break a vicious cycle of daytime fatigue and restless nights. Poor nap conditions can contribute to shallow naps that fail to recharge the body, which then leads to worse sleep at night, and on and on. But a well-designed nap space can enhance the quality of your rest, improve daytime alertness, and support overall health and vitality. Beyond the physical benefits, a comfortable and peaceful nap environment can also nurture your mental and emotional well-being. Knowing that you have a quiet, cozy spot to pause and recharge can reduce stress, improve mood, and give you a sense of control over your health. So next time you prepare to take a nap, think about your surroundings. Is the room too bright or noisy? Is your neck supported? Is the temperature comfortable? Are you truly resting or just closing your eyes amid distractions? By making small, mindful changes, your nap can become the restorative pause you deserve, a chance to renew your energy, clear your mind, and move through your day with strength and joy. George's journey shows us that even the simplest shifts can lead to big improvements. His favorite chair is still his retreat, but now it's a place of true rest, not restless drifting. With each afternoon nap, he feels a little more alive, a little more connected, and ready to embrace the joys that come with each new day. By treating your nap environment with care and intention, you honor your body's needs and set the stage for health, happiness, and vitality well into your golden years. As we've journeyed together through these common nap mistakes, it becomes clear that something as simple as a nap holds immense power over our health, energy, and happiness, especially as we grow older. Each habit we've explored today, from the timing of our rest to the way we position our bodies and the very environment we choose, shapes not just how we feel in the moment, but how we age with strength and dignity. The good news is, with just a few mindful changes, you can transform your naps into a source of true restoration, helping your heart, brain, and body stay vibrant and resilient. Imagine waking from your afternoon nap feeling refreshed and clear-headed, ready to enjoy your hobbies, connect with loved ones, or simply savor a peaceful moment. Picture how those small adjustments, waiting a bit after meals before lying down, keeping naps short, choosing the right place to rest, and timing your naps wisely, can ripple through your days and nights, improving your sleep and boosting your vitality. These choices are gifts you give yourself, little acts of kindness that honor your body's natural rhythms and keep you thriving. Now, I want to hear from you. What is one key insight you've learned from this video that you plan to put into practice? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. It's your stories that inspire and strengthen our community. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, share it with friends and family who might benefit, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more tips on living healthier, happier lives after 60. Together, we can embrace aging with grace, energy, and joy. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.